Night. Happy Friday. It is Doc with Doc's Oil CBD and Tally Chiropractic. We've got a great show for you tonight. We are talking about food tips, decreasing inflammation through your food, and improving your health by a better diet. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. If you jump on, have a chance to jump on, hit that share button, answer our question below. What is your favorite anti-inflammatory food? And we hope that you follow us and continue to follow us at Doc Soils and Tally Chiropractic for all your health information. So, as everybody has a chance to jump on tonight, like I said, hopefully you answer our question. What is your favorite anti-inflammatory food? Because tonight I'm going to talk about simple ways that you can improve your health through your diet and food. I'm not going to talk about how to lose weight necessarily, because there are some basic principles with weight loss that I think you can be successful with if you keep in mind regardless. But there are definitely ways to improve your health with the foods that you eat and maintain great balance, and decreasing inflammation, decreasing chronic disease, and things like that with the things that we put in our body. And so I think that eating healthy and being healthy isn't about a number. It's not about the scale. It's about eating clean food that is nutritionally beneficial for your body, is nutritionally beneficial for your cells, and you get less pain, more function, and a lot better feeling overall. So that's what we're going to talk about. Um, Tonight, like I said, I want to start with basically some things that in our American diet, unfortunately, really creates inflammation. There are foods that get rid of it, and then there are foods that cause it. And so, what we're going to start with tonight are foods that cause inflammation. And unfortunately, it's most of the American diet. Your sugar, your fried foods, your processed foods, and no green leafy vegetables, all those things unfortunately lead to inflammation. And so we'll start with sugar first. I am a huge fan of sugar all of a sudden, but unfortunately know that it is terrible for your body. Um, Eating high levels of sugar, your high fructose corn syrup, and those type of foods can basically be toxic to the body. It screws up your insulin resistance, and in a lot of cases creates diabetes and all these other things that unfortunately come along when your body is not processing the sugar correctly and your insulin is not working like it should. So you've got to minimize the amount of sugar that you have. They also say that it's just very toxic to the body in general, and it creates inflammation throughout the body. So get rid of that sugar. The second thing is the fried processed foods, those hydrogenated oils, those processed foods. They create things like free radicals in the body, they create inflammation, and they cause your body to function at a much poorer level over a long haul. So, increasing those processed foods, going to clean foods that are grown and or are animal products, so to speak, but they're not produced and made to have longer shelf life. Those kind of things, unfortunately, cause inflammatory chemicals like cytokines and that type of thing to accumulate in the body. And over time, that causes chronic pain and chronic inflammation and chronic disease. And so, if you can minimize those fried foods, minimize those sugars, you're getting a good start. The other thing is your refined sugars, and your refined things like that. What they do with those type of products is they like your wheats and your starches and things. They basically take all the nutrients out of those and then put it into your body. So they take all the good stuff out, and then you don't get any of the nutrition of the grain. You don't get any of those type of things when they're refined. And so that in and of itself can cause problems and cause inflammation for your system. So the refined foods, your sugars, and then also looking at things like your smoked meats. Those type of things have things like nitrites and other chemicals that tend to create inflammation. So look at those things as well. But those are just a few to start with that cause the inflammation. Now we want to look at some foods that diminish it, and then how they really diminish it, and really create those benefits to our body. So one of the most simple things to think about with regards to decreasing inflammation is really looking at increasing berries into your diet. Berries are a great source of antioxidants. They're a great source of fighting free radicals, and they really help just kind of minimize inflammation on a whole. Your blueberries are really good, but berries in general are a much better fruit to eat than most because they have a little lower glycemic index, but you get the anti-inflammatory benefits from them. So berries are good. The second thing to think about is beets are another good vegetable to look at. They work with something called the COX-2 inhibitors and enzymes. And if you can diminish these enzymes in your system, you can diminish the inflammation as well. So beets are another good thing. Pineapples, that's another one that people don't eat a lot of. Pineapples help to break down what are called road proteins, these cytokines and these proteins that tend to create inflammation. And pineapples have been found to break those down. So that's another one. Fish, salmon, and omega-3 oils. Salmon, they find, is one of the best anti-inflammatory things out there. They've got great omega-3s, and omega-3 fatty acids have been found to decrease inflammation. It helps with body regulation, as well as it produces these specific acids, basically, that your body and brain especially needs. Your brain really needs the omega-3s. And if you don't get those essential fatty acids, unfortunately, your body doesn't produce them. So you need that nourishment with regards to the omega-3s. And fish is one of the best ways to get it, the salmon. So look at that. Another thing is to add into the diet is ginger. Ginger has something called gingerol in it. Gingerol is found to aid in digestion as well as diminish overall inflammation. So ginger is another thing to increase. Also, they did a study where people took ginger. They just added ginger only into their diet. And in doing so, what they found was that those people had a 40% reduction in arthritic or joint pain. So the ginger or the gingerol has a tendency to bring down that inflammation pretty significantly throughout the body. Another great thing to add is something called turmeric. It's a spice. And the great thing about it is I talked about those COX-2 inhibitors, those enzymes. Well, you also have COX-1 and COX-2, and they specifically block the COX-2 inhibitors, and the COX-1 inhibitors in the body are something that you actually need. It promotes what is considered good inflammation, what happens when your body has to heal things, basically. So the turmeric is found to have a strong effect on these COX-2 inhibitors, which once again brings down whole body inflammation, reduces pain, so on and so forth. And it's very selective, so that's interesting about the turmeric. One thing to note though with turmeric is if you are on Coumadin, if you're on high blood pressure or coagulating drugs, you probably shouldn't take turmeric. So that's just one thing to note. And then another thing that I really like is broccoli. Broccoli is something great that you can add in with regards to decreasing inflammation. They say that it has something called, let me get it correct. Let me make sure I say it correct here. I believe it's bromelain, but basically it has a lot of a profile that decreases inflammation throughout the body as well. So broccoli, your cruciferous vegetables, those type of things are very anti-inflammatory in nature. Another great thing is avocados. If you don't use avocados in your diet, it's something to add in. They're finding it to be also what is considered to be neuroprotective. It protects brain health. They also find that has the potential, something in it specifically has the potential to slow Alzheimer's or prevent the prevalence of Alzheimer's. So I think that that's really interesting. And as you can see, a lot of these things that I'm just giving specifics with regards to what to eat, a lot of these things have real almost like medicinal value. So if used properly, you can get a real benefit in pain relief using these correctly. Another thing to note that I find interesting is they say that avocados actually have more potassium than bananas do. I think that they said that it was about 10% in a single serving of the bananas and about 14% in an avocado of that same serving. So it's got a lot of great vitamins, a lot of great nutritional value, and it has a benefit of decreasing inflammation. So avocados are another thing that we can increase into the diet. Like I said, oh, here it is, broccoli. Sorry, I wanted to go back to my point on broccoli. I had forgotten what I wanted to mention with regards to the broccoli. It's called sulforaphane, is what it's called, and is what broccoli has, and that sulforaphane is basically what helps protect and helps detoxify the body. So there aren't a whole lot of things out there that do that, but broccoli is one of them, and it's because of this specific chemical called sulforaphane. And so eating raw broccoli, adding broccoli into your dishes and things may be beneficial. It also, like I said, has great antioxidant value, has vitamin K, C, and all that potassium. So those are some great things that you can just add in specifically with regards to the diet. What I would suggest is just trying them. But I have to admit, I struggle to get those type of things in my diet. They're all great and ideal, but with regards to anti-inflammatory foods, I find that I tend to struggle. Mainly because most of the things that I listed are not number one on my list. Now, when it comes to eating, in my opinion, you're eating obviously to fulfill yourself, but really when it comes right down to it, you're trying to fuel your body with the best nutrition possible. So taste is not always the most important thing. But we all do like to make sure that things taste good. So it might take some work with some of these things, finding things that you like to put them in and finding recipes for them. So number one, it does take some work, but it's usually worth it. And as you start adding and incorporating these things in, what I find is your body kind of naturally and your taste buds kind of naturally adapt to them. You start liking them more as you increase them in. So if you're not used to eating these things or don't think that you'll like these things, add them in slowly is my suggestion. Allow your body, like anything else, to adapt. And remember that one of the big reasons that you're eating this food is for the nourishment, for the cellular benefit, and all those things, not just to satiate or get rid of your satiation, so to speak. So keep that in mind. The other thing is this: I think supplementation is okay and necessary. I don't think that, unfortunately, in today's world, in today's society, and the way that the eating system and the healthcare system and all these things are set up, that it's very conducive to eating anti-inflammatory foods. As a matter of fact, it's not very conducive to eating very healthy at all. I find myself always falling back into the American diet of fried foods, fast foods, high sugar, high processed, and all this stuff. So it's very difficult to stay the course. It's hard to find, sometimes more expensive, so on and so forth. So you've got to sometimes really work at it. But I think supplementation can be a way to kind of hedge your bets, so to speak, when you're not a perfect eater and your body's not used to eating perfectly. They've got, I talked about eating greens and cruciferous vegetables and things like that because they have antioxidant value and bring down inflammation, and your broccoli and all these things. But the reality is, I don't love greens all the time, and there are great green supplements. I used to take something called nano greens. They have something called fit greens, and then they have something that are just called green greens. But most of them, what they do is they put all these so-called superfoods into usually a tolerable drink. Some of them are better than others, but it's a way to really get a lot of these vegetables and antioxidants and all these foods into your system at a much higher level without trying to figure out whether you like beets or whether you like these things, or really where you can buy them at. Because most people don't have a lot of time to make their own foods and things. So unfortunately, they go to the store or they go to the fast food restaurant and they don't have these type of offerings. So you have to think in terms of your lifestyle and how to make it fit. And I find that supplementing those type of things makes it easier. The other thing I like to do is make smoothies, your green smoothies, certain fruit smoothies that aren't real high in sugars and things that have the berries in them. Those are easy way to get that nutrition into your system, get the benefit, and still not have horrible taste, so to speak, or difficulty finding a meal for it to go in. Like I said, I watched this person this morning, and she was talking about her weekly and weekly and monthly diet, and albeit it sounded great, but I just can't seem to have the time or take the time to do what she was specifically doing for those meals. So I try to stay as clean as I can when I can, and then add in supplementation when necessary to to kind of get that into your body without having to find the foods necessarily. So next thing is, I think that meal planning is really important with regards to getting those things into your diet. Like I said, there aren't a lot of places, unfortunately, that you can go and get clean meals. You either have to wait a long time, spend a lot of money, or can't find it. And there are some places, though, that are doing meal prepping. And I think that meal prepping is a really good way to try new things, They have great companies online, and things like that that you can use, or they have some local places that you can try. But the bottom line with the meal prepping is it gets you to think about the things that you're going to put in your diet for the week. And if you start thinking about and preparing your meals, you then can say, okay, I can put these type of things in. I can I can try new meals or whatever else. But basically, I think the bottom line there is meal planning in and of itself helps you get the proper nutrition you need, get more balanced meals, and then you get the right things in there and you get the results you want. Um, and there are, like I said, companies that'll help you out do so. So meal planning is another way to get those things done and done right. Let me see here. So those were the basic things that I wanted to talk about with regards to diminishing inflammation through the things that we put into our body. Uh, I think that if you think in terms of your food being something that fuels your body and something that heals your body, you'll have a lot better ideal or a lot better frame of reference to think about how to feed yourself. And then if you're looking to lose weight, diminish the amount that you put in and increase the amount that you output. Um, that's my simple tip there. But if you have any questions, let me know. I'd be glad to answer them. If you have anything that you found really effective for decreasing inflammation or making your body feel better, um, let us know, because we all want to help each other. My goal for these live talks is to give you something of value and then help other people. And the more information I get from you and the more information we get from other people, the better we can help each other. So that's part of it. So I hope that you write some things in the bottom, have some questions or comments. On a final note, with regards to decreasing inflammation on a body level, like I said, I talk a lot about CBD. One of the great things about CBD oil is that it is made with ours is made with coconut oil and all these natural products that are also naturally needed for the body. So there are omega-3 fatty acids in our CBD, and CBD in and of itself has the benefit of diminishing inflammation. So adding CBD to your regular routine and your diet is also another way to naturally decrease inflammation. And like I said, I sound like a broken record a lot of times when I'm talking about inflammation being the problem with this, and this. But the more research I do, the more reading I do, the more I conclude that your Alzheimer's, your diabetes, your chronic disorders are all caused by chronic inflammation over long periods of time. And any way that you can diminish that, whether it be through diet, supplementation, increasing water intake, you name it, any way that you can decrease that is going to improve your overall health. So look to diminish inflammation. Try some of the foods that I recommended. Try diminishing some of the other type of things that create the inflammation. And I think that you'll find that you have less pain. Those nagging aches kind of diminish or go away. And you feel better on a whole. You have more energy. You have better skin. You have those type of things that all start occurring because you're putting better things in your mouth and into your body. So hopefully this was helpful this week. If you do have questions, if you'd like to have a consultation about improving your diet, about CBD, about your overall health or pain, we'd be glad to help you out. We do free consultations for CBD and chiropractic. And like I said, my goal is to give you valuable information that can improve your life. Hope that you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope that you got something out of this talk, and I hope that you share this material with a friend and continue to follow us on Friday nights. Have a great weekend. We will be in the shop all week, and tomorrow, stop in and see us and grab you some CBD. Other than that, be well, my friends. See you next time. Bye-bye.